If you lived in Oak Harbor 5 or 10 years ago, this might surprise you because the cost of living here today is not the same Oak Harbor most people remember. And I don't just mean home prices. I'm talking groceries, utilities, taxes, and the quiet costs that don't show up in Zillow searches, but absolutely show up in your bank account. So in this video, I'm breaking down the true cost of living in Oak Harbor in 2026 using real numbers so you can decide if living here actually makes sense for you right now. When people research Oak Harbor online, they usually see a few things. They see that it's on Whidbey Island. They hear it's quieter than Seattle. They hear it's more affordable than other island towns. And while some of that is still true, it's not the full picture anymore because over the last several years, costs here have changed quickly. And if you're relocating, returning, or even just trying to keep up, it can feel hard to tell what's actually normal anymore. And this is where people usually get caught off guard. Quick pause, because if you're thinking, okay, but how much does this actually affect someone living here? I want to show you exactly what this looks like in real life. Not estimates, not vague averages, just everyday costs then versus now. Let's start with groceries, because this is something everyone feels immediately. If you lived here around 2017, a pretty average grocery bill for a household might have been around $150 a week. Nothing fancy, just regular meals. Today, that same cart is closer to $220 to $240 a week. Same store, same food, very different total. That's an extra $300 to $350 a month just in groceries. And this is the part nobody explains until after you move here. These increases don't feel dramatic once. They feel dramatic because they happen every single week. Now let's talk taxes, because there's been a lot of confusion around this. As of 2026, sales tax in Island County increased from 8.8% to 9%. And in the city of Oak Harbor, it increased from 9% to 9.2%. That increase did not just happen randomly. A major reason for it was the community vote to fund ICOM 911, which is our emergency communications system. That funding is specifically for upgrading outdated equipment and improving 911 coverage across the island, something voters agreed was necessary. This wasn't just a general maintenance tax, it was a targeted public safety investment. But here's where the math starts to matter. If you spend about $1,000 a month locally, that increase might only feel like a few dollars at a time. But over the course of a year, that's $50 to $60 just in sales tax. And that's layered on top of everything else. Utilities are where a lot of people are really feeling the difference right now. If you lived here around 2018, a typical electric bill through PSE might have been around $120 a month. Today, many households are seeing $150 or more depending on the home. That's over $400 extra per year just in electricity. Then you add water, sewer, and storm utilities. What used to be closer to $90 or $100 a month for many households is now more like $125 to $135. None of these increases feel shocking on their own, but stacked together, that's when people start saying, living here costs more than I expected. And this is where Oak Harbor and Whidbey Island in general is a little different. There are costs here that don't show up on spreadsheets. We have windstorms every single year. Tree work is common, roof and siding repairs are normal. A lot of homeowners also have generators, not because it's fancy, but because it's practical. These are the types of costs that don't always affect renters right away, but they absolutely affect long-term homeowners. Stay with me here because this part connects everything together. At the city level, Oak Harbor is also planning for the future. There's ongoing conversation and investment around the waterfront, public spaces, and marina improvements. These projects are meant to support long-term economic growth, tourism, and quality of life. But the reality is these things aren't free. Some costs are offset through things like business and occupation taxes, which only apply to businesses above certain revenue thresholds. That said, many residents feel those costs eventually get passed down through higher prices. And that's where the bigger conversation starts. How do we invest in the city without making it feel less affordable for the people who live here? This is why the cost of living conversation matters so much right now. It affects people relocating here for the first time, people returning after years away, longtime residents trying to plan ahead. Oak Harbor is still an incredible place to live, but it's no longer a set it and forget it affordability that some people remember. Going in informed makes all the difference. If you're considering living here, here are a few things I always recommend paying attention to. Ask about utilities and water systems. Understand that affordability is more than just the purchase price, and keep an eye on long-term infrastructure plans. Those details matter more over time than most people realize. If you're thinking about moving to Oak Harbor, or you're just trying to understand how things have changed, that's exactly why I make videos like this. Before you make a decision based on old information or assumptions, it's worth having a real conversation. I'm a local real estate agent here in Oak Harbor, and I help people break down whether buying or selling makes sense right now using current numbers, not outdated advice. If you want to talk through your options or just sanity check a decision, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to talk things through.